We'll be back from the break, and you're still watching the Smart Means Business. Manju Barije, definitely at this particular time in our insight, as we get into the matters in line with the population census 2024, what exactly do you need to know? But of course, before we get in there, just to make you understand that this is the third population census that is being undertaken by UBOS ever since its enactment by the Act of Parliament way back in 1998. And the 11th census, which is being carried out in Uganda since the first census, and the 60th census that is since independence in 1962. But of course, this is just a brief in line with that. But today we are going to be particularly focusing on the household listing in Greater Kampala metropolitan area, as what is happening, the enumeration activities that are taking place within there, the mapping process, so what is really transpiring, and what should we expect next. But of course, for me, with me in studio to break down these matters further is the public relations officer from the UBOS, that is John Igumira, and we're going to be breaking down the census, particularly 2024, but of course getting to understand where did we come from to reach where we are in terms of carrying out this activity. John, good morning. It's a pleasure to have you.
Good morning.
Yeah.
It's a pleasure to be here as well.
Interesting.
And, I must say that I'm glad being hosted on this Popular TV.
Popular TV.
Yes.
Thank you. Definitely the Business Command Center in that line. Well, the census is here, 2024. We last had one in 2014. Well, but of course, I would love the viewers to understand the all aspect of census. Where have we come from before independence, post-independence, and even we discuss the times UBOS has actually now been undertaking the census.
Thank you. As you said prior, the first census in Uganda was 1948.
1948.
Yes.
Okay.
And in 1948 we had 5 million Ugandans.
Okay.
But after that, we had other censuses, and a census takes 10 years.
10 years, exactly.
But recently, our last census was 2014, where we had around 34.62 million
Ugandans. Yeah.
But as you said, the history of Uganda, this is the 11th census carried out in Uganda. In
Uganda, yeah.
But the 6th post-independence census, after Uganda got her independence.
Yes.
And this is the 3rd carried out by Uganda Bureau of
Statistics. Yes.
UBOS was enacted by the Act of Parliament, the 1998 UBOS Act, sorry. So after that, we've carried out 3 censuses.
Okay.
But this is going to be the first ever digital census.
Digital census, yeah, that's the unique mark it has, actually.
The first ever digital census in Uganda. That means we are going into a paperless census. We are not going to see people coming to your homes with the big booklets asking questions and writing down. No. Now they are coming with computers, the tablets. They are computers, of course. The machines. They ask the information, they input into the tablet. And data is, of course, the data is sent to wherever it has to go to the main server.
Yeah.
And so this is going to be more technical, but also more effective, since it's a digital census.
A digital census.
Yeah, that means we will have to get the results earlier than we have been getting before. Okay. Yes.
So we've in the previous there has been a delay in flow information.
Now, like in this census is starting on 10th and ending on 19th May. But by end of July, rather by end of June, we shall have what we call preliminary results.
Okay. Yes.
By end of June. And by end of September, we shall have what we call provisional results. Okay. And then by December, we shall have the final results. That means we shall have all census information by the closure of this year. This year, okay. That's what it means to have a digital census. Yes.
So before, when we were doing it the manual way, was that if you were to range the time period between the preliminary, the provisional, and the actual results, are we seeing that that time has been actually adjusted?
It has been adjusted because in the previous censuses, one would have to first, you would write down the books, and then you have to first go in field to correct those books, take them somewhere, then enter data in the computer again, then analyze it. I mean, it would take too much time. You find like you are spending 2 years without getting the final result. But today, you put data in the computer, in the tablet, data is sent directly to the main server,
Yeah.
and information is captured.
It's
So we
captured.
don't have to take much time
Okay.
in that.
That is very effective. Now, heading back to the discussion point today, the household listing in
Yes.
Kampala metropolitan areas. We can briefly talk about the geomapping process, which I believe is taking place right now, and taking a look at the geomapping of the households and its importance as a pre-enumeration exercise for the national population and housing census.
Well, before you do a census, there are pre-census activities.
Yes.
And one of the pre-census activities is what we call household listing and mapping.
Mapping.
We have done this in the whole country.
Yeah.
So far, we are at around 95%
95%.
of household listing.
Okay.
That means we are doing well.
That's
we have
that's
finished
good.
all districts. We have listed districts. Cities, we are done. We are now in Greater Kampala
Metropolitan. Yeah.
of which it consists of Mukono, Wakiso, and Kampala. We are doing what we call household listing and mapping, getting the geocoordinates of structure.
The structures. Yeah.
What does this entail? This is not census, it's household listing.
Household listing.
We are in cities, this Greater Kampala Metropolitan, getting to know which structures in a certain place, what will they have, so that we can be able to have the clear information when we come to census.
Okay.
For example, on this street, household listing, when someone comes on this street,
Yeah.
where this TV is, they will, okay, on this street we have smart TV,
Yes.
we have maybe media center, we have so that's household listing. You are getting clear structures.
Clear
where they
structures.
are.
Okay.
What do they do? Are they commercial? Are they residential? Are those structures complete?
Okay.
Are they functioning?
Yes.
So that we can be able to know where to start from when we're going to do the right census. We know how many enumerators we can send in a certain place, because we already know how many structures are there. Are those structures just people's house? Do they have a people for housing? Are they for businesses?
Okay.
Because we need to get clear data of the structures in the society, for us to be able to do the right enumeration, send the right enumerators to do the right thing. And this is what we are doing in Kampala Metropolitan. It has started. Our listers are on ground. They are capturing, because we must also develop a map.
Okay.
We must have
A map,
of
exactly,
Kampala.
yes.
If you want to locate where smart TV is, you just go on the map and you know it locates. It's here. It neighbors this and this structure. So and that is done in household listing.
Okay.
So that when we come for census, we know where to find what.
Where to find what.
And what to do.
Well, that's quite interesting. Now, that brings me to an aspect here, because I believe even this is done in a digital way.
Yes.
And I've been hearing complaints now. I've scenarios, people saying, you know, I'm just from the field. I'm trying to send my data, but it's not being sent.
No.
In other words, some sort of like a structure, a system kind of glitch of sort. Yeah.
Those issues are there, especially where in areas where network is not maybe good. But in Greater Kampala Metropolitan, we do not have that issue.
Okay.
Because the network connection is clear. So someone inputs the data immediately.
The tablets are 4G, no, but 4G, 5G. No, but I think they're using their own lines, SIM cards.
Yes.
Yeah.
But what I have to tell you is that our internet is clear.
Okay.
We are not facing much of the issues now. And we did a pilot census. And in our pilot census, we didn't face much of the issues.
The issues, okay.
But of course, in areas, hard-to-reach areas where there is also poor internet connection, such issues will always come up.
Okay.
But that cannot stop the work.
The work from home.
No.
An alternative for that?
The tablets store that information. Then when an minister reaches somewhere in the evening, he can be able to send the data.
To send the data.
So as long as you input the data, it is captured already. It is stored.
It won't disappear.
It won't disappear.
Okay.
So when you get internet later in the evening, you can be able to send.
Okay.
Yeah. The good thing is that now in Greater Kampala Metropolitan, people are able to send information as soon as they capture it.
They capture it.
Yes.
And now that is going to take me to Sam before we get into another discussion in line with the capacity building sessions for these people that are taking this listing and to ensure that we have the actual, at least maybe 100% perfect, but at least we can achieve 85% or 90%.
No, in statistics, There is nothing like 90%, there's nothing like 98%. Statistics, it must be 100%.
Has to be 100%.
It must be
Okay.
100%. We made sure that all our listers have been fully trained on how to use the copies, on what to do.
Okay.
They are all trained. We take like even a week training those people.
A week
before we give them the copies to go in field and do the work.
Okay.
So the training we give them is very enough for them to be able to do the right work. Because we can't take this for granted. You don't just give a person a copy to go in field
and yes.
You must train fully how to use it. If it goes over to you,
how do you do?
You must charge it fully. We have professional people at UBO who are doing that work.
The training. Okay.
And they are doing it. In fact, the areas we've managed to capture, we've got 100% clean data.
100% clean data.
In statistics, there is no 95%.
I thought it's an estimation.
No, it can't be. It can't be an estimation. We are evidence-based.
Okay.
So in us being evidence-based, data must be 100% perfect. Even the tablet itself, it cannot allow you to submit incomplete work. No, it can't. This is a digital census.
Yes.
You input data, it will be telling you, now when we go for census, after a household listing, we will be having maps of all households in the country. So you can't come in this area and you do a census, you count in few house structures and you leave out the other. The tablet will tell you, no, you haven't. You haven't counted this. Go back.
So it has a GPS. That is for those that
why we are doing this.
That's for those that are listing or for the enumerators?
In the real census now.
In the recent,
when we are doing the real census.
Okay.
You must do work to 100%. Because everything is captured now.
Okay.
That's the household listing we are doing. That's why we are doing this household listing.
Wow, so we anticipate the best planning for this country. Yes. It's ever going to help.
Automatically.
All right, now, interesting. Now, how is this household listing? How long is it expected to take?
Well, in Greater Kampala Metropolitan, we started some time back. And we hope by the first week of April to be finishing.
The first week of April.
Be finishing the entire Greater Kampala Metropolitan, because it is currently ongoing. Okay. Our listers are in areas of Mukono, in Wakiso, and in Kampala. We have started already. We started like 2 weeks ago, and we must finish this as early as possible. Okay. Yes, so it's not going to take much time, since we just need the maps of the town. We need to know how many structures are there. So it's not taking much time, and let people outside there welcome our listers. Let them give them the right information. So that we can be able to finish this activity and we plan for the census. Yes.
Okay, that's very interesting. Now, of course, if we take a look at what is the key role of the local government in the pre-remuneration activities, as well as the National Population and Housing Census 2024.
Okay. National Population and Housing Census is not an activity of Uganda Bureau of Statistics only.
Yes.
This is an activity for the country. And UBOS cannot do this work alone. Now it's a decentralized census. First of all, the districts, the local governments you're asking me, they are the ones in charge of recruiting. They have been recruiting the listers they have been using in mapping and household listing. It's local government, not Uganda Bureau of Statistics, recruiting them. We work with local governments. And of course, a person who heads a local government is maybe a cow, or if it's a city, it's a town clerk.
Yes.
So those are our key contacts there. But they've done the recruitment for household listing. Now, even census. We recently released an advert for people to apply to have the census enumeration and supervision jobs. Yes. But who is in charge of recruiting these people? It's the local governments, the districts.
Absolutely, yes.
Because these enumerators must come from the local areas where they reside, and UBOS doesn't know them. It's the local government. It's their districts that know them.
Exactly.
Where they come from. So the local governments, they're helping in recruitment of their own people to do the counting in their own areas. Yeah. This is a decentralized census.
Okay.
Much of the work is done by the local government. They are doing it themselves. Even part of publicity now, we are using the cows, the RDCs, the LC5s, because this benefits the people they read in those districts. Counting is for planning. We plan for Ugandans. When a certain district, when a district A does poorly its work, then it will be affected.
Okay.
So the local government, they are doing much of, they have recruited their staff to do that. We are in the process of recruitment for census enumeration. But also, they are the guides. They know the areas.
They know the area. They guide the listers.
They guide the listers. Yeah. Because, like, for example, we are in household listing and mapping in Kampala. We must have a guide who is either a chairperson LSC1 or is on the committee, is on the village committee of their leadership. Because they know the houses. We must go with them for people to know that this is the right thing the government is doing. We can't just send our staff there. They don't know the homes. Yes. And they're even not known in the, some maybe are not known in the community. But when they come with the local leaders, then that is easy. So the local government is doing much of popularizing this whole activity. They have a say. Because we have to plan for the people. The government has to plan for the people. They lead. They
lead, absolutely.
Yes. So you both cannot do this alone. We are doing it with the local leaders.
And there has been cooperation?
And there has been cooperation. People have welcomed us. Recently you saw our executive director, Dr. Chris Muchiza. He had a meeting at KCCA with the road mayor. And you may, even I must tell you that even opposition people are welcoming this national activity. The road mayor recently welcomed our executive director, and they had like a 3-hour conversation. Planning how they can do household listing and census in Kampala.
Okay.
So the leaders are welcoming this. Last time our executive director still had a meeting with the Mukono leadership. And also the Wakiso leadership. And in fact, not only this greater Kampala metropolitan, but we have been having meetings
from various
districts in the country. The LC5s, the cows, the planners, the district statisticians, the RCs, the DPCs, even security.
Wow.
All security organs. We meet with them because this is a national activity. It must be done by all government workers, but also by all citizens, bona fide citizens of Uganda.
Wow, very interesting. So according to your discussion, it shows me that so far we have not encountered any challenges from the local government perspective. Because I understand sometimes there can be a misunderstanding somewhere. But it seems like we've not encountered the serious challenges from the people on ground listing to the different partners.
Well, the challenges maybe we're encountering, especially in household listing, is people resisting in field, not leaders. Not leaders.
But the indigenous, the citizens.
The citizens. Because they find a person is coming with a tablet. I told this is a digital census.
Digital census,
Say, now what have you come to? Okay, you want to get the map of my house, and you do what? You want to impose tax on us? You want no. That resistance is there.
Okay.
But we explain to them the importance of this, why we are doing a census.
Okay.
We are not a tax body, a tax collecting body. We are not a security organization. Our work is to know how many people we have, where they are, how are they, where do they get services from, so that the government can be able to plan for them. And planning is for development. So the challenges we are getting maybe, and especially in greater Kampala metropolitan, people resisting. But I have to inform our citizens there that welcome our people. They are doing this for the greater good of you and your society. We must, the country must know how many people we have, so that they can extend services.
I think, does it come in line with awareness? Because, okay, not everyone has a TV set, like they're watching Smart 24 TV now about this information. Any initiatives for the absolute local awareness programs? You know, they have villages where people have all these local ways of communicating.
First of all, as I told you, this is a decentralized census.
Yeah.
Even the local leaders we have engaged, they're helping us do the awareness work in their communities.
Yeah.
But also us, we are using their local radio stations
Okay.
to communicate in the local languages they understand. Then, of course, there are community engagements. We must pass the message there, and we are using those community engagements. Maybe church services.
Church services.
Ceremonies. Even at funerals now, information is being disseminated.
Okay.
And people are welcoming the idea. We are trying to do much of the awareness campaign.
Okay.
And we have not stopped. We have done this for some years. And we shall do it until the census is done. And even the post-enumeration.
Beautiful, beautiful. It's exactly 25 minutes past 9. I'm with John Igumira. He's the Public Relations Officer, WUBOS, that is the Uganda Bureau of Statistics. And of course, it's the Population Census 2024. What exactly you need to know, but of course, above all, the household listing that is ongoing in the Greater Kampala metropolitan areas. Well, we take a short break and I'm still returning with Mr. John as we break down these matters.
Smart 24, driving business.
Osmosis is coming. Osmosis, what's the money? When do you see him? Send him to Momo.
My bossy, can I borrow fuel? Biggie money, can I borrow renty? Manager, give me some caloni. Okay, what about 5K?
Galoni oyina MTN Momo weesotinge kozesa Momo app owanyika star emumu kagatano star tano hash okufuna loni eyamango londa koloni ekukolera okuva mu loni ez'ebika ebyenjawulo eziva mu bannaffe betukolagana nabo nga tuli wamu tewali kitulema.
Bulu Magiki is my joy. Ono Bulu Magiki, wange.
Ayo, talaba kumabala atukuza n'onyirirawo kirako ennyange tayisa bubi faburiki kyonna kyekiri kiggwa lwa Bulu Magiki is my choice. Ono Bulu Magiki ye wange. And Bulu Magiki is my choice. Hey, ono Bulu Magiki ye wange.
Prepared to embark on a journey through the cutting edge of technology. Witness the unveiling of the latest tech marvels. From futuristic gadgets to groundbreaking innovations, Smart Tech showcases the forefront of technology that is shaping the world around us. Explore how technology is transforming various industries, from healthcare and education to entertainment and beyond, showcasing innovations that are reshaping the way we live and work. Don't miss the opportunity to be part of the forefront of the tech revolution. Smart Tech, beyond boundaries. Witness the extraordinary advances that are shaping our connected future.
Don't miss on Smart 24 TV.
Smart 24, driving business.
right, we'll be back from the break. I've been having quite a great conversation here with the PRO of the Uganda Bureau of Statistics. Quite very amazing. Of course, we shall be finding out what is happening. But the discussion is in line with the household listing of, that is in the Greater Kampala metropolitan areas, which is taking place and in a short time, which will be concluded in that line. Of course, there is quite there are people on ground, Mr. John, and they're participating in these holidays. Yeah, like you mentioned, the aspect that it's about the local governments that are responsible in terms of recruitment. A participant in the listing could be asking themselves, if I applied for being a supervisor for the enumerators, or now being an actual enumerator, do they stand a chance in terms of being considered to also participate in that?
Well, as I told you prior, that the issue of recruitment is done at the level of their district. So as UBOS, Uganda Bureau of Statistics, we don't have any say in recruiting
the enumerators,
or supervisors. For us, our role, which we have done so far, is to develop a system, an online application system. Which we did and sent out an advert. So it's now the districts to recruit their people, their enumerators, their supervisors. And we shall come, train them on what they are going to do. Equip them with the tablets, give them the tablets. And also pay them at the end of the exercise.
The payment comes at the end of the exercise?
Of course, it will be a lump sum.
Okay.
It will come.
Even those that are into the listing process?
Yes. Those who are doing enumeration, we are now talking about census enumeration and supervision.
Okay.
So we don't have anything to do with recruiting people as Uganda Bureau of Statistics. It's their local governments. Of course, if they applied and they qualify as per the requirements we put, so there is no reason as why they shouldn't be given.
Okay.
Because we want people to work, and they have to come and work. So I want to think that different local governments, different districts, will recruit suitable people to work in this exercise.
Okay.
Yes.
Very interesting. Okay, now, of course, taking a look at this, how does geomapping assist census organizers in identifying hard to reach, or what we call marginalized populations?
Well,
prior to enumeration.
Well, the hard to reach areas, maybe you could say the island areas.
Island areas,
but of course, geomapping, it gives us a map. We know, we get a map and know where a certain place is. How can we access it? So when we know that you access a place A by water transport, we will automatically know, and we'll find means of accessing it. Because geomapping is to know where a structure is. What it does. You get a map of it. You know that for me to get smart TV, I must use the road transport because there are borders there. I will jump on a border and reach there. That's why we are doing this geomapping, the census mapping activity and household listing. So we do all this to know where places are so that we can be able to get there. If it's by road transport, we will know. If it's by road transport, we will know. I don't think we need to. I don't think in Uganda now we have where we have to reach by air. It's Uganda, it's either road or water transport. So after doing all this, we will be able to know how to access that place. And because we must, even if they are refugee camps, we are counting them. If they are hard to reach areas, they are highlands, maybe you can access the certain places on water, we will know. And we must get the means.
Wow, very interesting. And maybe ahead of this National Population and Housing Census 2024, what could be some of the advancements in the WUBOS, that WUBOS is actually having with its stakeholders ahead of the census in May? Advancements.
Well, the advancements may be like the meetings we have had.
Like you mentioned, the district
district engagements, the meetings, because we have made sure that, like we've done, I told you earlier that we have done 95% of household listing. But we were meeting leaders from national, from district level, even up to the LCs, meeting them, informing them the importance of the census, asking them to encourage people to take part, to welcome the national population census. So the meetings with local leaders, we are even now going to have a meeting with religious leaders.
Okay.
It is coming soon, even before this week ends. And then also opinion leaders, making sure that everyone knows the importance of national population and housing census. And also this publicity itself is an advancement for people to know the importance of a census. We are explaining to people what a census is. Why is it carried on? What does it help? But literally, it is to extend services to people.
To people.
Yes.
Now, this brings me back to this as the aspect here of what do we anticipate, most especially in this 2024? Because we've not yet gotten the actual results, but we can have indicators that might give us the anticipated outcome, most especially in line with the fertility rate and the growth rate.
Well, we always have projections, which we do.
Yeah.
But as you know, this is a census year. This census year, we did not do any projection.
You didn't do any projection.
Because we have a census clock. A census clock that always counts. And it does, if a year where we don't have a census, we always have projections.
Projections, yes.
But this year, we are waiting for a census. So there was no need for us to go into projections and we predict this and the other, no. So if we can wait for the actual census results by the end of this year, then we shall be able to know all those things you are asking about.
Okay.
How many Ugandans are we now? The age rate, what you are talking about, the infant mortality rate, we can be able to know. But we can be able to know after we have done the national population and housing census, which we are going into in less than a month now, or in a month's time.
Absolutely.
So
now this brings me to this aspect of, since the enactment of WUBOS in 1998, the first census you held that was in 2002. To what degree have the results of the census been impactful to planning, to the extent of utilization for perfect planning for the people?
Okay, as you know, data is for planning.
Yeah.
Well, the hospitals we had in 2002.
Yes.
Okay, let's even say the 2014 last census which we had. The hospitals we had, maybe the road connection, the road network we had. It's not the same as we have now.
Yes.
So services have been improved. Services have been extended to people, even to villages. Because, and there is no way these policymakers can know that somewhere they need a hospital if we don't have that data.
The data.
If we don't go in field and collect that information and tell them that in village A, there are no hospitals, or the hospitals there cannot correspond to the total population there. We do the government does that after getting the right information. Health fertility, education.
Education, yes.
There are no schools in this. Because we capture all those things when we are carrying out a census. And we shall still capture them now. And services must come after our census. So services have been extended to people. And they have been extended after us giving the country the actual data. Because we are the only institution in charge of Uganda's
data.
Whether you want on health, whether you want on education, whether you want on transport, we have the information.
Okay.
And the government, the policy, we are not policy implementers.
But you advise, you can advise.
Yes. We collected our data itself
is enough to add to it's enough to formulate even a policy.
Because we don't keep this information in our office there, it doesn't stop on our computers. No, we publish it, we send it to respective agencies to implement where we need. If it's agriculture information and we know that in a certain area A there are no markets for the agricultural products.
Yes.
We know where to send the information.
And you see, the recent statistics, I think, from still Wubos in, I think it was 2022, in terms of poverty, the northern region seems to be really at alarming rates in terms of what we call multi-dimensional poverty. Yeah, I mean, how are we, what do you advocate for government for such? Because the population, I mean, because we are also experiencing massive rural-urban migration, and yet these are areas that still have resources to exploit, but still delving in poverty. What would you advocate for government in line with that?
Well, you quoted our multidimensional, the indicators.
Yes.
And we had indicators showing where poverty is and to what extent.
Yeah.
But of course, the government picks it up there and then. And they bring up maybe projects you've been seeing. Now you see, I don't want to discuss much
it's okay.
on these other government projects, but at least they are there. You've seen the PDM and other projects being sent in northern Uganda.
Yes.
But how do we come to that? The information, those surveys
you do
that you are quoting, the information is there.
Chigezi area is also.
And of course, that data informs what to do. And it has, and the government has been implementing that.
Okay.
Using the data, the information that we are giving out.
Then advice on because our rate is actually it's increasing because from 2002. 2014 there was this because you said the first census we had 5 million people, and you see it's sometimes scary if we are to weigh economic growth vis-a-vis population growth. Of course, as our economy, since, okay, I'm going to range it from 86 because it's where we had a real rebirth of our economy, which was from $10 billion to now about $50 billion. So how do we take a look at the rate of the population growth rate vis-a-vis the economic growth rate? Are we safe, and what do we advocate? Because a huge population can be advantageous. China demonstrated that to us.
I don't want to discuss as an economist, but us as an institution in charge of population and Uganda statistics, we cannot, we don't have that obligation to advise people not to produce.
But you can advocate for, what can we use for this? How can we ensure that this population is utilized from the productive perspective?
Well, maybe what we, but you see, we are now going into other people's roles. Well, if we see that the population is increasing, as Uganda Bureau of Statistics, do we have a take on that? Automatically, no.
You don't have a take on that.
We can't say people should not produce, people should not do what. But of course, we also advise in one way or the other. Maybe if we know that there are some sectors that are generating an income, we advise maybe can our people get to this,
involved to participate,
get involved in this activity, and maybe it generates an income to our households, to the government itself. Maybe there, but we have policymakers. Of course, we'll come out with solutions. As far as the population is currently concerned. But of course, our obligation, we are not mandated anyway.
But you advise.
So, well, an advice is okay. But for us, our role is to give the country
the information.
Data. We are these Ugandans. I'm giving an example. We are 50 million Ugandans. We do this. And Uganda is on this level because of this and the other. Because of the statistics. We have maybe our health is at this level because of these statistics. Our education system is on this level because of these statistics. And the policy implementers, those different other agencies, they take it on and do the right thing.
Well, as we kind of conclude this, what is the census 2024 seeking to establish?
Wow. On 12th of December 2023, the year we concluded, it is the day we launched this National Population and Housing Census. And the president of this country, His Excellency General Yoweri Kaguta Museveni, launched this. And in his speech, he gave the importance of a census, of course, of which it is also the reason as why we are carrying it out. And one of the reasons is the census seeks to know how many people we are in a country like Uganda. Are we 50 million? Are we 20 million? Are we 30 million? Are we 10? You can't anticipate that. You must go in the field,
yes,
and capture the right data. Count people. Do a head, count people.
Yeah.
So we are seeking to know how many people we have in Uganda. So after that, we have to also know where are they. All those 50 million in Kampala or somewhere in the other, they're distributed. So we need to know where our people are. Which region has the many people? Which area? So that we can be able, so that the government can be able to send services basing on the number of citizens in different areas. Where are they? How are they? Because when we come, our questionnaires, they also want to know, how are you living? Are you earning? Are you earning something?
Exactly.
Do you have something that brings bread on your table or not? So how are our people? The government needs to know how Ugandans are living now.
Yes.
Are they in poor health conditions? Do they have schools there? How are those people accessing whatever they need to? So that the government can be able to plan for them. How are they?
Okay.
And then where do you get services from? If you are in a certain village A and you are doing agriculture, do you have markets to send your products? Or you just, they just stop there and maybe for home consumption and what? But where do you get services from? Are there hospitals in your neighborhood?
Yes.
If people get sick, do they have to walk 30 kilometers to get a health facility, health center? Do you even have roads to access the health centers? Do you have schools? Where do you get services from? Okay?
Yeah.
How many are they? Where are they? How are they? What do they have? Even what do they have?
Do they have? Okay.
And that question always brings problems. What do they were 5 questions. In fact, the president asked for how many people are we? Where are they? How are they? What do they have? And the 5th one was added by our executive director, Dr. Chris Mchiza. What is census 6? Where do they get services from? So, but the question of what do they own always brings problems. People say, why do you want to know what I own?
What I own.
Do you want to tax them? No, we want to know what you have, not to tax them.
Okay.
But we want to know where our country has reached in terms of development.
By knowing what they have.
By knowing what they have.
Okay.
Or if it's not there, we also know, the country knows where it is as far as development is concerned. So the question of what you own should not bring confusion in the people, should not disturb people much. It's just literally to know where the country has reached.
Has reached in terms of development.
And then where do you get services from? To extend services. We want to know. The country needs to know if you have services or not, so that they can add more. And this is generally why we are doing a national population and housing census. For us to be able to provide services
efficiently
for the country. Yes. We don't want to leave, don't want to leave anyone behind.
Okay.
Leaving no one behind. In this population census. Even the refugees, we are counting them. They are Ugandans.
Okay.
Maybe I need to now talk about the census, which is going to happen starting from 10th to 19th of May. But before that, we have what we call census night.
The census night.
9th of May is the census night.
I'm told it's a gazetted public holiday.
The gazetted public holiday is 10th May, in the morning.
Okay.
Because 9th May is when we will count all Ugandans who will have slept in the boundaries of Uganda.
Okay.
If that night finds you at the airport, you will be counted as a Ugandan.
As a Ugandan.
Even if you are from wherever you are.
Okay, yes.
But on 9th, that 9th, midnight, it gets you in Uganda. You will be counted as a Ugandan.
A Ugandan. Okay.
So that night of 9th helps us to count the floating population. Floating population is maybe this population on road, the ones in transit, in tax park, maybe even at the airport, at the borders. That's the floating population. We count it at that night. So when we come to your homes in the morning, we shall use 9th of May as our reference night.
Reference night. Okay, yes.
Huh? So when we come to your household, how many people slept here on the night of 9th May? Even if we come on 15th, I told you that starts on 10th, actual counting. But even if we come on 15th,
yes.
we will ask you how many people slept in your household on the night of 9th, because it's the reference night. It's when we started counting. Those who will not have slept in your household, you as the head of the family, if your people would not have slept in your family by 9th at night, then those were counted somewhere else.
Okay, yes.
They would have been counted somewhere else already.
Probably they were in another residence.
They were in another residence, and we counted them there. Or they were, but
okay.
you must give, the census requires you to give people who will have slept in your household.
In the night.
By the night of 9th. Even if we come on 15th, even if we come on 19th, the last day of counting.
The benchmark will be 9th.
That is our reference night.
Reference night.
Because those who didn't sleep there at 9th, maybe they were counted from somewhere else. And we don't want to do double counting.
Double counting.
Yes.
Well, your final remarks on the population.
My parting shots on this is that to inform the country that currently we are doing what we call household listing and mapping in Greater Kampala Metropolitan. Our people doing this, they are easily identified. They have the tags. The tags have their names.
The names, yeah.
They are working with the leaders in your households. Kindly welcome them. Give them the little information they want, so that we can be able to do the real census.
Yeah.
So people in Kampala, in Mukono areas, in Wakiso, this activity is going on now.
Okay. Yeah.
And this activity leads us to the National Population and Housing Census. And when census comes, please welcome it. Allow it to be counted, give the information our people ask. That's really what I can end with.
Thank you so much, Mr. Johnny Igumira. He's been my guest this morning, a public relations officer, that is from the Uganda Bureau of Statistics, as we break down the household listing in the Greater Kampala Metropolitan areas. Well, you've been quite a great audience, and of course, it's quite of a rain day. You need to warm yourself up as you prepare to strategize on how you're going to go about the day today. Well, thanks for being part of today's edition of Smart Means Business. Till tomorrow, have yourselves a wonderful time. Yeah. So, hope it was on